If you want to know my thoughts on Lasting Finish 24 Hour by Rimmel, the breathable version, just carry on watching. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm starting with nothing but a moisturiser on because I have a testing video today. Soph Does Nails did a testing video of this, and she has a very oily skin and just like me, and she's pale and etc, and it looked really nice on her because it actually does have that like natural finish to it. And I've really been into foundations that I can kind of wear every day, that are not too matte, and just, you know, trying it out, just mixing it up a little bit. If I can get a foundation that's kind of natural in the finish, I would prefer for it to be more natural, but don't end up looking greasy. That would just be, you know, that's what I want. So I only have moisturiser on my face, and it's the Clinique Moisture Surge one, because it's not too oily, and I really like that. It's like nice and hydrating. As you can tell, I have a lot of spots at the moment because I was on my period. Let's get on with the foundation. So I have really spotty skin, and we'll see how it covers. So yeah, I'm going to do half of my face. I'm going to use a brush, which is the Expert Face brush. I don't really use brushes lately with regards to my foundation. I really like the look of a sponge, and this is the Real Techniques complexion sponge. I prefer the finish because it really makes the foundation like go into the skin, and just, you know, kind of slightly makes it look like skin. So I'm going to start with the complexion sponge, and then on the other side I'm going to use the brush just to see what it looks like. Got the light porcelain. It might be too light for me, but to be fair, I prefer my foundation lighter. What I don't like about this, it does look pretty cool, is that it has a doe foot applicator, and with a person that suffers with acne, I don't want that. I don't want to spread it on my skin and put it back in for the bacteria to grow in here. So that's kind of very disappointing, and honestly I don't even know how I think I'm gonna apply it onto my hand. So get the applicator, put it on my hand. I can already tell it smells really nice. I've put it on my hand for the hygienic purposes, and I can already tell it's a lot more. I think this one doesn't have as much oil as the other one. It's a slightly bit more water based, yeah, and my sponge is sucking it right up, but we'll see what happens. I'm putting it onto the right side of my face. So I can already tell it is slightly a bit more pink, and I'm very yellow undertoned. And with regards to coverage, light to medium, it did cling onto this dry patch that I have here, and I did exfoliate this morning. Let's get rid of that. I do peel quite a lot. Yeah, very light coverage, I would say. I'm going to try and build it up. It is a very light formula. It does feel nice on the skin. but I think it has alcohol in. Like, it does have this alcohol-y undertone in it, whereas the original doesn't have that smell. It has the perfumey smell. It's not overpowering, and you can't smell it on the skin. And I have a very sensitive nose with regards to smells, so if you want a decent coverage, you will go through the whole bottle like in a day. Well, not in a day, but in a week, maybe. And still, this is like a second layer and it's still not like completely full coverage. So far, on the day-to-day basis, it's not bad. Let's try the brush. I feel like I've dipped into this like 100 times already. So on the sponge side, I started off with 3 like dips. So let's see whether... I don't think it will eat up the foundation as much as the sponge. By the way, I didn't use primer. People still don't use primers. I don't really use primers that often. So I didn't want to... I just wanted to see how the foundation looks on bare skin. And I did this because I did put moisturiser, and people sometimes do treat moisturiser as their primer. I don't know, I think that it gave me like a similar finish. But I did get the effect of like a very similar effect with just 1 layer on the brush side, whereas I did have to put 2 layers. I think I did end up with like a similar finish anyway. It is slightly patchy though. I don't know. It's not bad. I don't know. I'm not like crazy about it, you know. Again, I'm going to take 2 more dips like I did on the sponge side and see if I can build it up. It does claim to be medium coverage foundation. Let's see if I can build it up. I prefer the brush. I'm doing stippling motions so I can really press the foundation in. It's not a perfect match, so I'm trying to blend it in. Yeah, it's definitely a lot more pink than my skin tone. See, this is medium coverage to me. And then this is more like a lighter coverage. I don't think it's bad, and I do have a lot of spots. So, I'm going to kind of even it out. Layering it when it's already dry, like fully dry, not the best idea. It does bunch up a little bit. It just changes, like it oxidized. It didn't really. What the hell? Yeah, it's not the greatest. I'm going to swatch it on my hand, leave it to dry, and see whether it oxidizes. Because I don't think it changes. I don't think it goes darker with the oxidization situation. I think it goes a lot more pink. I think I'm actually going to cream contour on top of it. Shall we try like, yeah, I think I'm gonna see whether it mixes well with a concealer and cream contour. So far, it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look good. It bunched up a little bit, like in some places. I'm going to use, for my concealer, I'm going to use Revlon Colour Stay in number 1 Fair. See, like, this is a lot more yellow, and I am very yellow. Yeah, it just goes really, really pink. I can already tell in my hand. Concealer looks fine, it blended in nicely. It doesn't seem to be affecting it that much. Cream contour. Tanya Burr contour stick, and I have light medium expert face brush. And again, I always use like stippling motions with this cream contour. It is more of a bronzer, so yeah, doesn't look bad. Didn't pick the foundation up. Let's try here. Doesn't look bad. Right, so I'm going to finish the rest of my face and I'll be right back. I've been looking at this finished makeup for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes even, and I can't make my mind up on the foundation. Overall, with the whole face finished, it doesn't look bad in comparison to the original version. No, like when I did powder just ever so slightly, and I can already tell you that it doesn't powder well, in the sense that it loses that breathable, lightweight feeling. So that's number 1. Number 2, before I did the whole bronzer situation, I didn't really like it all that much. It does seem to have like collected in my smile lines, and I don't even have like really, because I have a chubby face, I don't actually end up with a lot of creases in my smile lines, yet this foundation did collect. Yeah, with the brush, if you are going to buy this, and it is quite a nice foundation if you don't need a lot of coverage, it is really nice. Oh, almost forgot. Let's do a fresh swatch, because this has definitely set. I don't know, it doesn't seem to have, yeah, it does oxidize a little bit. The fresh swatch is ever so slightly but yet more yellow than when it sets, and that makes a massive difference, like on the face, especially if you're really pale, because it does oxidize pinkish / orange. Well, it sets pinkish / orange, so that's not the greatest. It's not that great, honestly. And this, it's a cool concept, but it's not very hygienic. I don't think anyone wants to put a doe foot applicator. Don't get me started on concealers. I only use my concealer for under eyes only, and yes, it probably does collect bacteria, but not as much as my spots, you know? So I don't want that. It doesn't look bad on the skin when I finished. Yeah, it doesn't actually look bad on the skin. Like this situation, this mismatched situation really bothers me. it's just ever so slightly still sticky, despite me, you know, going in with the powder a little bit, and despite it being light porcelain, which is the lightest shade, it's actually not even that light. If I had to give it like a rating, I'm gonna give it out of 10. I would give it a 6.5 maybe, because it's quite a good price. It does work on the skin. If you have, if you're pink undertoned, you will really like this. I just don't, because I'm very, very yellow undertoned. If you don't have acne to cover up and you only need like a light foundation and you have dry skin, this would look great, because it does have that natural finish. It's not very drying. It does cling onto dry patches, so if you're extremely dry, you will need to either use well, moisturizer, that's for sure, but maybe use a hydrating primer. I have to bear that in mind that I didn't use a primer. If a foundation is good, it will not need a primer. So yeah, 6.5 out of 10. Hi, I'm editing the video and I've realised you can't really see how you can't even see it on here, I think. But basically, whilst editing the video, I realised that the camera doesn't pick up how mismatched my neck is to my face. I don't think you are able to see that still. But trust me when I say I feel like my face is like orangey pink in comparison to my neck. It doesn't seem to be holding up so well either. I do like to play with my hair, and the foundation has rubbed off on the top of my forehead. I'm sure you can see that. I did mention that I did powder a little bit, especially in my T-zone, under my eyes, and I can feel that the foundation itself is very, very dewy. Yeah, I don't know, for oily skins, not the greatest. Mismatched. Yeah, from 6.5, because I did mention in the video it's about 6.5 on the 10 scale, and right about now, oh yeah, it has been probably 3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours, 4 hours, and it's starting to grease up, and I haven't been doing much. I've just been editing the video, so yeah. So overall, it kind of is a fail. It's a fail. I feel like this might be one of the longest videos I have ever made, but I did really want to give you a thorough review, and I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.